The time has come, everyone. The time has come to choose your side.
We did it. We're settling it now.
Dad jokes or no dad jokes? There's only one way to vote, and it's to head to wehaveconcerns.com/shop and buy the No Dad Jokes t-shirt.
Or the Team Dad Jokes t-shirt, which will show your allegiance
to No Dad Jokes, which is the shirt you're buying.
Team Dad Joke.
Wehaveconcern.com/shop, and remember to click on No Dad Jokes because it's the only sane answer.
Team Dad Joke.
Pretty rad, and so I'm inside Lucasfilm.
You know, it's a Tuesday. It's an average day. You know me, R2-D2, the idol from Indiana Jones. I hate you with every fiber of my being.
I was going to tell you an actual Lucasfilm story, but now you made me feel
please
bad
tell me.
about it.
No,
this
come
is
on.
We Have Concerns.
Damn it.
Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, douchebag. Hi, Anthony Carboni.
It was so aggressive. Hello, concerned citizens.
So you want to live longer?
Do I?
I think you do. I think that's what we've...
Well, I want to live longer than like now. Like if I can make it through today, that'd be great.
I guess I better put this knife down then.
Yeah.
So you want to live longer? Beg for it. No. So we're trying to figure out how to make that happen as a human culture. We're trying to figure out how do we live longer. The best way to do that, or one way to do that, is to look for areas in the world where people
we
do
can
live.
harvest the blood of human children and use it to add their power to our own.
Yeah, and failing that, we should find
healthy adults and rip their hearts out of their chest cavity and eat their hearts.
Right, but that's pretty
add our power.
That's pretty labor intensive
Sure.
and on the edge of legality. So in absence of that plan,
We want to grow human beings in a lab so we can harvest their organs and replace ours with theirs so we are always young on the inside.
right, but that takes so much time. It's a lot of setup cost, initial overhead. So in order to not have to do that,
You want to run over as many old women as you can with your car because one of them might be a sorceress who will curse you to walk the earth forever in penance for killing her.
that's just a terrible plan on so many levels. That's a terrible
I hit a
plan.
lot of old women with my car.
No, but it's
And I'm still going to die.
wrong-headed. It's a wrong-headed plan.
I don't know that I want to live forever anymore because my conscience is so heavy at this point from all the old women that I've run over.
Such a bad plan.
Is there an easier way, Jeff? There's
Well-
got to be an easier way.
This article sent in to us by Jason Sapir, who has sent us a lot of stuff before and sends that into wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com, or he could have used our subreddit
He could have.
at wehaveconcerns.reddit.com.
He could have done it either way.
He sent us this article from the Scientific American about blue zones. Blue zones are pockets of super healthy, super long-living humans that have been identified, and the people are starting
They have to
study
live under
these.
giant blue domes.
You know, whatever it takes to make them live, whatever it takes for them not to get hit by your car.
If you can it's really hard, you can get into the lottery and one out of every 100,000 people gets to live in the blue dome. And if you live in the blue dome, everything is taken care of. But you have to say goodbye to your friends and family.
Forever.
And you can never leave the blue dome again.
And everything in the blue dome is blue, which is really weird.
It doesn't have to be.
No, it's just
more of a branding thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to call it the blue dome and not go all the way with the brand.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, what kind of idiots are we?
Woo, blue dome number one.
The blue zones are pockets of really long-living people who these scientists are studying to figure out why are they doing so well? Why have they avoided death this long? And it turns out
high concentration of old sorceresses.
Man, I'm telling you, that is a dumb plan.
It's not the worst plan.
You're not going to find a sorceress just by throwing lots of bodies against the wall and seeing which one sticks. It just doesn't work that way.
No, because a sorceress would float up to the ceiling. And that's how you know.
That's how she avoids your car hitting her?
No. Nothing can avoid my car hitting. I come out of nowhere, man.
So
what
can we learn
from
what can we learn from folks in the blue zones? Well, it turns out it's kind of what you would expect. These people enjoy physical activity that's incorporated naturally into their daily lives, like gardening or walking.
Pass.
They have a sense of purpose, like caring for grandchildren or volunteering in their communities.
Overrated.
They have low stress levels and a slower pace of life. They have strong family and community connections.
Oh, gross.
And a diet that's characterized by moderate caloric intake, mostly from plants.
So I'm dead by 60, and that's fine.
You're doing the
That's
plant
fine.
thing
I'm
real
doing
well.
the plant thing. This all seems kind of common sensey, right?
It does.
But it's funny how much we are willing to ignore that common sense in our day-to-day lives.
Well, the big part of this article is about how many people dispute the findings of these things in order to support living the American lifestyle, which is high caloric.
USA!
Yeah.
USA! Fuck our families. Who cares about friends? I don't need a sense of purpose. I got a big TV. It's in 3D. I got PS4. Fuck all y'all.
My purpose is to get through all 13 episodes of Daredevil in a 13-hour period.
And if I gotta drink all the energy drinks and eat all the ice cream to do it, I
it
will.
will be worth it, America.
There was a book that came out a few years ago. Actually, I guess it was more than a few years ago. It was probably about a decade ago at this point. That was called The Okinawa Diet. And they found out kind of a similar thing, that the highest concentration of centenarians on the earth at that point was in Okinawa. And they were like, what is going on in Okinawa? People are walking around.
Yep.
People are, even after they retire, they do a lot of physical work, which is like you said, it's like a lot of gardening and stuff. There's not a lot of meat in Okinawa. Meat is really considered more of like a fancy part of dinner. And there's not a lot of red meat. So it's kind of like they have a lot of pork and things like that and chicken, but they eat it in like really small portions, and it's mostly like vegetables and fruit. And
Let me ask you this question. What is their win-loss ratio in Heroes of the Storm, generally speaking?
I don't think it's very good.
I bet it's terrible.
I bet it's awful.
So, I mean, on the plus side, you know, octogenarians, centenarians, long life, sense of purpose. But on the other hand,
Immortality is achieved through deeds.
deeds.
Deeds. The
Wins.
things that will live on after your physical form has fallen by the wayside.
That 27 minutes that led me to destroy all the enemy towers,
What's up?
that will be spoken of for generations.
Generations.
Yeah.
Generations.
That's time well spent.
I did not get as high up as I am on the Geometry Wars leaderboards.
Yeah, for nothing.
For nothing.
Not for nothing.
They will sing songs of me. Songs.
They're not going to be good songs.
No, they're going to sound a lot like the soundtrack to Geometry Wars, which is like.
But you know it's about you.
So here's the thing. Like, there is something to be said for trying to extend your lifespan, right? There is something to be said for living in a way that makes you happy. So if I live 100 years, but I'm living in a way, I mean, obviously all this stuff sounds lovely. Having a family and
Right.
a sense of purpose and community and blah, 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 blah. That's great. Whatever.
Joy.
Yeah, joy. Fine. Whatever. Big deal. But, you know, if I enjoy working super hard and kind of if I enjoy a little bit of stress in my life or even a lot of stress in my life,
Do you,
that's
though?
the way I want to live. I enjoy a medium amount of stress.
Is it stress or is it pressure? Or is
Yeah.
there something different between those two? It's a subtle distinction I'm trying to make, but I feel like pressure is motivational and stress is beats you down.
Well, a certain amount of stress is good, and it's actually good for your system physically. There's stress and then there's eustress, which eustress is like
Where stress uploads its video content?
Yeah. Boy, that was awful. Boy, that was really bad. But because my father visited last weekend and a couple episodes ago, I inadvertently told a million dad jokes. I'm not going to come down on you for this. I'm not going to come down on you for this.
I like the
I'm trying to live the Okinawa way.
There you go.
And not come down on the people that are close to me.
the eustress
For all of their
creator.
many failings.
Okay.
But eustress is like when we are out in the wild, and we were hunting and gathering.
Yeah.
There is a certain amount of stress that makes us operate optimally.
Right.
And that's good stress. And you get a lot of good stress from things now like sports and video games and competitive activities and things like that. You a safe sense of pressure.
Right.
And I kind of feel like with work to me is a safe sense of pressure. Like I know that a lot of people are like, "Oh God, if I don't my career and blah blah blah," and I'm kind of like that. But I'm just I like sort of taking risks and being like, "Fuck it, if I fuck this, things are really fucked for a little while."
Yeah.
But here we go, America. This is the way it is.
No, I agree.
And I kinda
I
operate
thrive
that
on
way.
that.
Yeah.
And this is a question that I think about a lot because I know on a very fundamental level that sugar is poisoning me. I know that cognitively. I get it. I believe it. I'm not trying to reject the idea, but I fucking love sugar.
Yeah.
And the moments when I have something that is delicious, I feel so happy. I feel a joy when I eat really good food or a delicious dessert. I feel so good. I don't want to live a life without that.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time making that value judgment of, hey, there are things that I know are super good for me and that will actually lead to a longer, healthier, happier life in the distant future. And there are things in the present that I say, I don't want to live my life giving that up completely.
And I think it's okay every once in a while to be like, yeah, I like sugar.
I mean, all things in moderation.
I like stress. There was a lot of articles, or there were a lot of articles last week about this thing, orthorexia nervosa, which is an eating disorder where you are just obsessed with only eating healthy.
Right. Yeah, which is also not good.
Which is also not good.
Yeah, anything in the extreme, I guess, right?
Yeah. So I feel like, I don't know, when they recommend a lifestyle like this one, I don't think they're saying go to extremes all the time. Because it actually doesn't sound like a very extreme lifestyle. It just sounds like an old person's lifestyle. You know?
Yeah.
It sounds
it's weird. Where the oldest people live, they do really old people things.
Yeah, it's super strange. So, like,
we found a pocket of super old people, and you're not going to believe this. They behave like old people.
It's really crazy. Most people who live to 100 watch really shitty TV. It's so strange.
We're determining that there may be a link between not knowing how to check your email and longevity.
We have found in our study that most centenarians eat dinner before 4 o'clock because it is cheaper. Cheap dinners.
Cheap dinners, therefore, according to our research,
are connected to living to be 100 years old. Because if you think
the Long John Silvers may be the key. The Sizzler and the
get to a Shoney's immediately.
Hometown buffet might be the key.
But that's the thing, is like, oh, well, what do we like to do? We like to walk, and we like to garden, and we like to volunteer, and we like to talk to our family on the phone. That's just old people shit, man. You can't tell me that old people like old people shit, and that's what you got to do if you want to be old. I get it. If you want to be a dog, all you got to do is chase cars and catch a ball. And then you'll be the most dog.
We're linking canine activity to
being a
canine lifestyle. Yeah. It is maybe a self-fulfilling prophecy that you find the oldest people.
The blue zones are like all retirement communities too. The blue zones are like Boca Raton, Arizona.
We call them the blue zones because of the color of their hair, man.
Do you think that this study is actually proving a connection to this lifestyle, or do you think it's just kind of, this is what old people do?
I'm sure there's a lot to be gained from knowledge about diet. I think diet is really undervalued in our society as far as its contribution to overall health. But I also truly fundamentally believe that having purpose is the most important part of life.
Yes.
That when you hear about, for example, a wife who dies and then the husband dies shortly thereafter, but the husband had been taking care of the wife.
Yeah.
Like,
or like The Notebook where they die together.
Don't make me cry, dude.
You remember that part of The Notebook?
Don't bring up The Notebook.
And she remembered just for a second. Just for a second.
Rachel McAdams.
She remembers him.
I remember.
And then they die together. Because that's all he was looking for.
It's not cool to bring up The Notebook.
That dude needed a hobby, though. Like, we can say that, right?
I think that's the truth.
Like, that dude needed a fucking hobby, though.
I think that honestly, you get busy living or you get busy dying. That's
a different one.
Shawshank, baby.
That's
Shawshank. And really, we can learn everything we need to know about life from Shawshank. Tunneling.
Look at a man's shoes.
Yeah. Baseball pitching mound height.
Grocery bagging.
Yeah. Library skills.
Library science is super undervalued.
It's true. Poster art.
Just poster art. Just poster art. Had a good poster, Shawshank did. The sense of purpose thing is super, super important. I think I have noticed within my family and within families of my friends that the people who kind of just retire and putter around tend to be the ones where the mental faculties kind of
Right.
drop. Just having a routine, having hobbies, having things you like to do, and keeping the mind working, I think, are
Right.
the most important things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And having a reason to continue, having someone either relying on you or having a function in your community that people need you, or just to feel needed, to feel essential.
Like the person that gets rid of the old sorceress population. I
terrible
do a community service.
It's a terrible plan.
Every single one of those people I hit was probably some level of sorceress.
To your own admission, none of them floated away.
None of them floated away.
You have
because
yet
I
to be
hit them.
cursed.
Because I snuck up on them and I hit them. And there's less dark magic now in the Los Angeles County area than there was when I got here. And that is something that, like, I think everyone would agree to.
Let me just float an idea at you.
Like a sorceress?
Well, okay, bad choice of words. Is it possible that you are just mowing down elderly old women?
Yeah, Jeff, it is.
I mean, is it possible?
But it's also possible that I'm doing a great community service. And does that outweigh the possibility that I'm killing nice old women every day, multiple times a day with my car, which is causing a lot of transmission problem in my car, which I need to get around?
Right.
We're all losing something, Jeff.
I guess. A lot of people are losing their grandmothers.
Do you know how much money it costs to have your front bumper replaced with like a snowplow, Walking Dead style?
I'm sure it's not cheap.
It's not cheap, Jeff.
And there's a lot of
And I don't make the kind of money where I can be attaching snowplow fronts to my Toyota Yaris.
I understand that. And when we are divvying up our Patreon money, you're always talking about how you need
I need more money for my Death Yaris.
It's your Death Yaris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a side note, I really think you could have picked a more robust car
Do
to
you?
apply the snowplow to.
This is what they do in the street racing communities. You buy a slightly cheaper car, and then you put a lot of expensive aftermarket modifications on it,
Right.
because you just want something that's light and sort of flexible.
I just don't understand why you had to put in the huge stereo system into the Death Yaris. I mean,
because I don't like hearing them scream when I hit them.
well, that does explain it.
Yeah, I like to put on a little 311 or Uncle Cracker, just like right before I hit them. You know, just something
So they
kind of
know you're-
positive.
Yeah.
You know?
Something get your spirits up.
Yeah, because it's, you know what? Makes me a little sad to have to kill all these old ladies. Like, if I'm going to be 100% honest, like, I'm doing a good community service, and I know that, and it's, like, important.
Which, by
There's
the way,
a sense of purpose, like we're talking about.
As your lawyer, I would suggest you never be honest after
But,
this
I mean,
again.
you're not really a lawyer.
I mean, not anymore.
I mean, there are some people who would say that you were never a lawyer to begin with.
But those people, I think, really have been discredited at this point.
Well, I mean, they've discredited you quite a bit.
Well, of course, me, but I think their claims that all of the lawsuits that I put forth were erroneous, I think that's really overstating.
Yeah, I mean, nobody could put forth 1,000 erroneous lawsuits.
No.
One of those had to have been erroneous.
Exactly.
I have a sense of purpose is where I'm going with this.
Well, yeah, and the law will bear out. And I think my advice to you would be just never be honest about this again.
Fair advice. Okay. Duly noted. How much of this stuff do you do in your life? Are you living this lifestyle? Are you living that blue zone life?
No. I mean, I try to have purpose. I try to contribute to my community. I try to have a positive attitude and cultivate good relationships with other human beings. I try to remind myself that people are the most important thing. And I try to eat in a fairly responsible way. I definitely have a sweet tooth, and I definitely put stuff in my body that I shouldn't, but I do it because it's yummy.
Am I doing it right if I'm jogging for like 20 minutes a day and then playing like 7 hours of Bloodborne? Is that...
Yeah.
And if I do co-op Bloodborne and I help somebody beat a boss, is that sense
Good
of
vibes.
community?
Good vibes. Yeah, you're contributing to your blue zone, I think.
Sometimes I go in to kill him, though. Sometimes I go in just to fuck him up.
I mean, I don't think that contributes to the.
I mean, I really like doing it, though. It's really funny. You go in to help them, and you just straight up fuck them up, and they didn't see it coming.
Oh boy,
I kill old women. I think marathon gaming sessions and TV sessions
are awesome.
Are awesome, and I do them once a week, twice a week. But I think other than that, I try to eat right and get exercise. And
yeah,
I'm not very good at helping the community. I'd like to think I could do more there, probably. minus
It does
all,
make you feel real good.
minus all my work in the sorceress community, obviously. But if I had
it's more of a niche.
it's a niche. Yeah, I'm really doing.
It's a rapidly dwindling niche.
Yeah, it is. Because I take my job serious. Like, I don't know. How about you guys? Are you living that blue zone life? How close are you getting? We would love to know. And do you believe that this is causation or is it just correlation? Are they just talking about old people doing old people things?
That's the big question. You can let us know how you feel by talking to us over the Twitters. I'm at Jeff Canada.
I'm at A Carboni, and you can tweet those opinions to us with the hashtag DeathYaris. And by the way, you like the show?
I love the show.
Well, I know you like the show.
It's my favorite show.
I'm wondering if they like the show.
They're listening to the show. I'm assuming they enjoyed it.
Well,
we stuck around all the way to the end.
That's true. Well, I guess there's a way to know, and that way to know would be to leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to the show. If that's iTunes, that is super helpful. Stitcher, wherever.
Don't waste your time reviewing the show.
No, God, don't write a review. Oh, God, no. But, leave 5 stars and then let us know how many sorceresses do you think are walking around in your community unrecognized right now.
Yeah.
Pretending to be nice old ladies.
Don't take it into your own hands. Let Anthony handle it. He's a
Just
professional.
Tell me where you live.
He has put a lot of money into his Death Yaris and doesn't want it to go to waste.
Yeah. Just 5 stars, and then how many sorceresses you think there are in your area, what your area is, and what's a good time for you to hang out and mow some people down.